Ho, ho, ho.
Bigfoot? Is that you in a Santa outfit?
Yeah, you got me. But I have presents for you.
Presents!
Alicia, you were nice this year, so here's your gift.
Ooh, it's the El Yucateco hot sauce gift pack. It has all 7 El Yucateco hot sauces. Thanks, Bigfoot.
Dave, you were naughty this year, so here's your gift.
Colon explosion wicked hot sauce? That doesn't sound good.
It's not. Happy holidays.
Hey, friends, just go to shop.elucateco.com and use our promo code Paranormal Punchers and save 10% off your entire order. Paranormal Punchers is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey, y'all. This is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends! Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. Not just an ordinary episode. This is our holiday episode. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash, reporting to you from the Death Star, apparently.
For anybody listening, you have no idea what he's talking about.
But if you're watching, you know.
But if you're watching, there's a nice mural of a Star Wars scene on the back wall.
And I'm Dave.
Wow, how rude, Nash.
Sorry, I didn't know I was going to go there.
I guess it was my fault for trying to describe what you were talking about. How is everybody doing?
We're doing good. You know, we dug ourselves out. We had a big snowstorm.
Snowpocalypse.
Yeah, it was the snowpocalypse of 2020.
Yep.
It was a bust around here.
Yeah.
The news was talking about dumping about 18 to 20 plus inches in our area. We got 8.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining because I'm not a fan of snow. That's why I keep talking about moving to Texas. But it got like 40 inches up New York, up that way. That's incredible.
Yeah. No,
yeah, we
thank
picked
you.
up about 8 to 12. We were, no, not 8 to 12. We got about, it was more like 12.
Okay.
A little bit more than 12. So that next morning, it was a fun day snowing that next morning.
Yeah.
And the snowblower didn't really work. So
No.
it was awesome.
Yeah, my brother came in to help snowblow the driveway, and his broke
Yeah.
like halfway through it. Had to finish up with shovels. But hey,
Yeah,
halfway is okay.
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Could use the exercise.
Exactly. Well, that's I didn't even work out that day. Like an hour of shoveling, I was like, hey, I'm done. That was
Right.
my workout for the morning.
Right.
I definitely felt it the next day. I was like, oh, every part of my body hurts.
Yeah.
How's it over your place, Dave?
About the same, about 12 inches.
Yeah.
And I have a really teeny tiny corded electric snowblower, which does okay, except in all conditions that involve snow. So,
Even in adverse conditions.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah.
Well,
Did a lot of shoveling.
wherever you are, I hope you're doing well and dealing if you have snow, no snow, but desert, I don't know. Just hope you're doing all right. We are doing this recording virtually again, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have some holiday fun. I got my delicious beer from Funk Brewing. Dave, what is your party drink?
I've got a beer, Strawbro. It's a nice pale ale.
Nice. Lish, I know what you got because I bought it for you.
Yep. It's a Super Pursuit from Funk.
And Nash, you look like you have nothing, but that's okay.
I have nothing. I just got done doing some exercising, so the as much as I want to go have a coffee Kolsch down in the basement, a beer for my Bigfoot, which I can kind of
Which I'm representing with my T-shirt.
Yeah, I've got it in the basement ready for us, so maybe later tonight I'll jump into it.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we're going to virtually sit around the virtual fireplace and talk about some crazy, creepy Christmas cryptids from around the world. How about we kick things off with Alicia.
Okay.
Of course it's going to be you.
All right. So I'm going to be talking about the Yule Cat. I don't think I want to try to say the actual pronunciation. You have a link for it, so maybe you can get that up for me. But I do have a question for everybody. Who likes to get clothes for Christmas?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, I don't. I have a story behind that. I'll tell it later.
So I'm assuming you guys did not like to get clothes when you were a child.
Correct.
Okay. I hated it because I always got like really awful stuff. And I was like, oh, thanks. Now, if you grew up in Iceland, you have a very different opinion of this. Okay. So I'll just leave that there. Now, the Yule Cat has long been a Christmas time enforcer of good behavior. According to Icelandic...
Enforcer, you said?
Enforcer. According to Icelandic tradition, anyone who finishes their chores before Christmas would get new clothes as reward. Meanwhile, lazy children who didn't get their work done would have to face the... Do you have it?
Yes. Ready?
Yep.
Jólaköttur.
Yeah, I don't know how you... You want me to do that again?
Do it again.
Please.
Jólaköttur.
Okay. I know. Now, the Yule Cat, it's not a kitten, okay? It's taller than the biggest house that you have outside, okay? So, like, it is huge. It roams around Iceland on Christmas night and peers through windows to see what children have gotten as presents. If it sees that clothes are part of the presents, it moves along to the next house. If it sees that there are no socks or other items with clothing, the Yule Cat will eat the child's dinner as an appetizer before moving on to the main course, which is the child itself.
What?
Yeah. So yeah, he goes around, he peeks in your windows. Do you have clothing? Cool. I'm going to move along.
So if you didn't get clothing for Christmas means you were bad.
You were bad. You were lazy. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. So, yeah.
Is that partially responsible why maybe the idea of stockings came from? Hanging stockings from the chimney with care?
Possibly. Now, there is another way to make sure that the Yule Cat, he doesn't get you, and it's if you're generous. You don't necessarily have to get new clothes yourself. If you gift them to somebody who's less fortunate, then the Yule Cat will leave you alone. Now, I'm not really sure how he knows that you did this. But let's say you get a sweater you're not happy with, so you re-gift it to somebody who doesn't have a sweater. Then you're both in the clear. Right?
Oh, it's a 2-for-1. It's like a buy one, get one.
Oh, see, I thought regifting would be the trap. Like you got like this really ugly sweater from your grandma.
Right.
And you're like, I'm going to re-gift that to my cousin. And then Yule Cat's like, oh, no, you're dead.
Right.
Okay. But I guess not. That's being nice.
Yeah, you're being nice to
But can the
else.
Yule Cat figure out, like, he's not being nice? He hates the sweater, therefore, it was a mean thing to do.
I did not see that, so I'm not really sure. I'm not even sure how the Yule Cat can know that you're gifting somebody else. You know what I mean? But
So,
go
I've got a question here.
Go for it.
So, the cat is bigger than the house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, how does he get inside to eat whatever?
I don't know. Maybe it's like
Like
Dude.
a baby cat?
If you were taller than the biggest house in this town,
Yeah.
it would be pretty easy to get in.
No, you couldn't fit.
well, he just stomp on it, I guess.
Yeah, or rip the roof off. He's got claws.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. That's a pretty good sized cat.
Yeah. Now, in other versions, the Yule Cat doesn't actually eat the child, but it eats all of their presents. So you wake up Christmas morning, hey, you don't have any gifts. So
That reminds me of your cat, BB. She ate some holiday wrapping ribbon.
yeah.
And then and it was hanging out her butt like the next day.
Yeah, it had like pieces of poo attached to it. So it was like this long, it was still stuck in her butt. So this long strand of ribbon with poop attached to it that she was just dragging around. But
Oh, poor kitten.
I had to pull it out.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't understand cats.
So, I'm having kind of a difficult time envisioning this. So what I'd like the two of you to do, okay, I'd like you to simulate what happened that day, Alicia and Mark, right now, because I'm having a hard time envisioning pulling the fabric out of the cat's butt. So go ahead. Let's simulate it right now. Go.
Well, number one, I wasn't there, and I could tell you if I was, I would have said, "There's ribbon hanging out your cat's butt. You deal with it," and I would have left.
Right.
No, I was going to say that, Mark, you play the cat. Alicia, you play yourself. Just, pull that sucker out.
So this is our holiday play.
Yes. That's exactly right.
'Twas the night before Christmas.
Oh, boy. So I guess this came from medieval Iceland. Employers, they would reward their employees with new clothes and shoes if they were able to finish all their work before Christmas. So that's kind of where this came from. I don't know how it turned into a giant cat that eats you, but
That is a terrible Christmas bonus,
right?
To get clothes from your employer. That's right up there with what did Clark Griswold get Christmas vacation? Was it the Jelly of the Month Club from his boss?
Yeah, I think
when he was expecting his Christmas bonus to put a pool in. Yeah, I think that's just it's a terrible Christmas bonus. Hey, here's some clothes.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah.
Dave.
I don't know. I think you could easily distract this large cat. I think there's a lot of ways you could approach this.
Okay.
To keep the cat out of the house. I think if you just leave like an extension cord hanging from like the front of the door, and they'll just walk by and they'll want to play with the cord because that's what cats do.
True. Or put a box outside.
Exactly. Just put a refrigerator box outside.
Right.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, a giant red laser.
Yeah. Oh,
just pointing it around. He's chasing it everywhere. But if it's bigger than the biggest house in town, then it's practically like Godzilla. So you don't want it to start chasing something around.
Well, you just take the laser. It's the same adage as if you're being chased by a lion, you don't need to be the fastest person around. You just need to be faster than the slowest person. Yeah. So same philosophy is you don't need to take the laser and really like distract him. You just need to take the laser and get the giant cat to go over to somebody else's house.
Okay, well, you gave away your secret. I was like, why don't we take Nash, roll him up in yarn, like a giant yarn ball, and just throw him out.
with my hands and feet outside.
Yeah.
Oh! Bad kitty, bad
Let the
kitty.
cat play with it, tuckers the cat out.
Yeah.
The town survives. Yeah. We live for another holiday.
And I end up sticking out of a cat's butt like that piece of yarn or whatever it was.
And I'm still not pulling you out. I'd be like, Dave, this is your problem, and I'd walk away.
Nice.
I would help. I would pull you out of the giant cat's butt.
Thank you.
I would not give you mouth to mouth if you needed it after that, but hey, it's a start.
One step at a time.
Woo, so that's the Yule Cat.
Yes.
All right.
I know.
That's what I said about my clothing. Sounds like we probably all have the same experience. But when I was a little kid, my grandma, she'd go shopping, but it was always clothes. So I would always open up the presents, and there would be these corduroy pants, 3 to 4 sizes bigger than I was. And I don't know if she thought I would grow into them. but they were usually the most hideous pants paired with the most hideous sweater. And of course, thank you, Grandma. But I want to be like, how can we get Grandma to stop buying clothes? Can we convince her that, hey, just give us a gift card. We'll go get it ourselves. But now she'd love to buy us clothes, and they were the worst. I think one Christmas, I felt like I was just like, Grandma, this stuff, they don't even match. And then also oranges. So I got pants, a sweater, and some oranges.
Okay.
But hey, I mean, she gave me some gifts, and I am thankful. But yeah, that's why I don't give clothes at Christmas.
Yeah, I was always getting underwear and socks.
Well, you got me socks with Bigfoot on them, so that was a good Christmas gift. Yeah.
Yeah, and for a family of I'm the littlest one in the family, so for a family of giants, we constantly burn through clothes, wear them down, and it was always a nice refresher because we kept the drawers full. We get to recycle out the old stuff, turn it into face masks and things like that.
If you're the littlest one in your family, the Yule Cat has, it's not going to come anywhere near you guys.
Right. But no, if they're passing down clothing, Nash wouldn't have new clothing on.
Right.
So maybe being the littlest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped out. Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
Never got the new stuff.
I meant you would have your brother's clothes on from last year.
Right.
The Yule Cat would just be like, well, gotta eat them.
You got it. That's right.
All right. Thank you, Alicia.
Of course.
For the story of the Yule Cat. And why don't we go to Dave?
Okay. So I took on the Christmas zombie horse, otherwise known as Mari Lwyd, which is a Welsh name. It's actually spelled Marilwyd, but pronounced Mari Lwyd. The name means gray mare or gray Mary. And so what this is a zombie horse, a horse head, that comes around town and it tries to get into your house.
What?
And it will talk to you in rhyme or sing song, and it is up to you to engage in a battle of wits with this.
What?
Also in song or rhyme, and if you outwit it, it will move on.
Wait, you mean like a rap battle?
You're going to rap battle.
Kind of, yeah. This actually, I couldn't find any examples where this was actually called a cryptid. This is more of a Welsh custom, folk custom, started around 1800. So it's actually townsfolk. They take a horse skull and put it on top of a long wooden pole, sort of like a hobby horse. And then they go around to the houses and they sing songs trying to get in. And if the owner doesn't engage them to keep them out, they get to come in and have some food and drink. Okay. But it's interesting the way this origin possibly happened is that in the 1500s there was a town that was under siege, and there was a lookout party looking for the army that was sieging the town, and they found a woman riding a gray horse on a bridge, and they thought she was a spy. So they tried to capture her, and as they moved in, they grabbed the reins of this horse, and she jumped off the horse over the bridge into the dark waters below, never seen again. This lookout party apparently decided the best thing to do at this point was to decapitate the horse.
Oh, right.
And then they stuck the horse head on a pole and paraded it around town, and they were given accolades, rewards, and whatnot for having caught a traitor. And so that was the original origin of this. But in general, it's turned into this whole, good time, holiday cheer type of thing. And the horse has come to symbolize fertility and protection. And the rising from the dead, the horse head being, like a zombie head, symbolizes new life for the coming spring. And, the days are getting longer at this point type of thing. So overall, pretty interesting. Again, it's more of just a odd kind of custom, but than a cryptid, but it was still really interesting.
I love the fact that you go door to door and you you throw down, lyrically throw down with somebody, and if you're the homeowner and you lose, you got to let them in and they eat and drink your stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess you got to have booze on hand and a bunch of food ready just in case.
Right. Yep. So that's actually one thing I learned I hadn't known before. That's the term wassailing. If you've, here we come wassailing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wassailing is the same as like caroling, except that as a result of when you're wassailing, you're expecting that they give you food or drink as a reward or as a gift or whatever for the performance you've just given. So this is a wassailing custom with a horse skull on a post.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So were you rap battling against the horse?
No. The horse was acting as the group that was carrying the horse around was doing the singing and whatnot, but it was like the horse was the leader. The horse was trying to get into the house.
Okay.
So I was just thinking about like Mr. Ed was not a gangster, and I'm envisioning Mr. Ed with like a hat turned sideways and a flat brim, and the owner's like, oh, yo.
Yo, Nash, you think you make beer?
And someone sitting on his back with a single speaker boombox, and they're like, yeah, right on, yeah. That's my mental image. Sorry.
Some of the pictures you can find on this are kind of creepy. I mean, it's a real horse head, and it's they decorate it and everything, and everybody dresses up in their Sunday best.
Wait, is this a real decapitated horse head?
I don't know where they get the horse skull from. Whether
skull.
This is it's the skull. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, some poor horse gave its life at some point. Hopefully, it was of old age and not specifically for this custom. But yeah.
So when we hear carolers and they're singing the song that says "Here we come a wassailing," and they don't get anything for it, are they like getting shortchanged?
They probably don't even know what it means.
Right.
Because I didn't.
Yeah.
I know. Because I was like, I don't go caroling often, but I remember singing that song when we would go caroling.
But now we know.
Right.
It's a zombie horse.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, I thought I must have got shortchanged, because if that's what that means, I don't remember anybody getting anything except for getting cold for cold weather.
Well, next time you do, make sure to take some undead being with you, and you're more likely to probably have free reign of the house at that point after everybody runs away. But
that's right. So if we sing that song and they don't do anything, then we can like bust in and be like, yo, this is how it's done. You did not rap battle against us, so we're going to come in and eat your candied yams.
Okay. I was like, where are you going?
I'll get your cookies and milk. I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave. That's interesting. I have to think on that. Like, I would lose a rap battle, like right out of the gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just stock up all kinds of festive snacks and funk beers or something.
Yep.
But then what if it comes in and it is a zombie horse? You're like, crap, I just let a zombie horse in my house.
Right.
What do you feed a zombie horse?
I don't know.
Well,
That's a whole other thing.
I'm assuming brains.
so if you don't,
I'd be like, Alicia, it's for you.
wow. I almost wonder if you don't have like food or drink to share with. How do you say it again?
The Mari Lwyd.
Mari Lwyd. If you don't have that, what happens at that point?
I don't know. I didn't find anything of,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's supposed to be a happy custom. So I don't think they're like out to murder villagers or anything. But yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah. All right. I'll go. I would like to tell you guys about der Belsnickel.
What?
Belsnickel.
Okay.
All right. So this comes to us from German folklore. dating all the way back to the 18th century. It's very regional to the Rhine River Valley in Germany and Pennsylvania. Because when immigrants came over and settled in this area, the Pennsylvania Dutch, they brought Belsnickel with them. Now, the word Belsnickel, we have a combination of Belsen, which is German for pelt, and I'll get to that in a second, and nickel, also a German name, Nicholas. You know, you're thinking of Saint Nick.
Saint Nick, yeah.
Nicholas. But some people think the name actually refers to a term, der Altnick, Old Nick, which is another reference or name for the devil.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So Belsnickel, when he shows up, what he looks like, he's just wearing like just tattered clothes, all crusty and dirty, and he's got this pelt, all these furs, just like this pelt. Is that the pelt? No, pelts. Cloak of this nasty furs, antlers, and foliage sticking out of it. Big scraggly beard. He's got this cap also made of furs and antlers, so it's already sometimes he wears a mask. Ooh. So it's already kind of this frightening, crazy thing that just crept up out of the woods. Now, he sneaks around your house. You know he's there. And he always comes before Christmas, before Christmas Day. So you know he's there because you start hearing a little tap, tap, tap on the window. You're like, oh, my God, is that Belsnickel? And you know why you hear a tapping sound? Because he carries hickory switches in one hand.
What?
The other hand, he has a bag of treats. So as he's prowling around your house in the middle of the night, tap, tap, tappy on your window, he'll bust in the door, boom, and all the kids, he starts quizzing them. Like, you know, it could be a math problem. Dave, what's the square root of pi?
Square root of pi?
And then, well, you fail that one. Smack, you get hit with the hickory switches. You'd be like, Nash, what's 2 plus 2?
17.
Ooh, smack with the witches. The switches. But he also might ask you, like, have you been good? He's gauging if you've been naughty or nice. And have you done your studies? He might ask you to recite a poem or a Bible verse. But he's just testing to see, again, have you been listening to your parents? Have you been nice to your brother? And the answers will help him either give you a wicked smack with the hickory or treats. Sometimes he'll toss the treats onto the floor. And the kids that are like super eager to jump after the candies, they get a smack too. So you got to have some, you got to know your studies and you got to have some refrain. And then he splits.
What the heck?
Right?
How come for the question? I mean, you gave us, math questions, but I mean, he didn't go to like, he jumps in, kicks open the door, jumps in with his switch in his bag, and he's like, okay, a train leaves Boston heading west at 60 miles an hour. Another train heads east from California going 40 miles an hour. What kind of questions are they talking about? I mean, is it like,
hey,
what's the airspeed of an unladen swallow?
That's right. Barn swallow?
Yeah, it's up to Belsnickel. Maybe he's just in that kind of the right mood to throw a riddle at you. Mm-hmm. I guess it's all up to him. I feel like no matter what, he's looking to dole out the switches and smack a few kids. Now, unlike some other, like with the cat, he's not eating anybody. He's not eating the bad ones. He's just doling out some punishment.
No, he is. The Yule Cat.
I said unlike the Yule Cat.
I'm sorry.
He's not going to go kill or murder like the Krampus, throwing him in a bag and taking him up somewhere.
Right.
He just likes to lay down some punishment. Now, and he comes before Christmas because he's giving you a chance to get right before Christmas comes, and then maybe you'll get a nice present. So that's why he shows up before Christmas.
Hmm.
Yeah. He's taking the I know what kids need these days to the extreme.
Yeah, right. For sure. Now, I'd like to read you a poem, though, dating back to 1860. It's by Henry Harbaugh, and it was written in Pennsylvania Dutch. Oh. So it's been translated. So I'm just going to read the translation. obviously. Oh, do you know that ugly, that nasty man? Wow. Can you call that fellow a human being? Yes, that he is human may be believed by whomever wants to. He looks to me too much like the devil. Just look at his eyes, his nose. Wow. He opens and closes his mouth like shears. A tail like an ox. Yes, that he has, right? And a hairy pelt like the bear's. If he comes into your house, there'll be noise enough. He seeks out the bad children. And if he finds one, he gets right to the point and beats very badly the sinners. He stands there with that terrible whip and grumbles his threatening speech. The children suddenly become very good and begin to pray mightily. If one of them, as in sometimes the case, was right mischievous, wanted to mock his mother's whip, I bet he won't laugh at Belsnickel's whip. He quickly begs for good weather. Now Belsnickel shakes his bag terribly. Out fall the cakes and the chestnuts. Whoever is good can pick them up. Whoever is bad, then whack. He flogs them thoroughly. From the Belsnickel, I have now learned something. I will never forget it. After you sow, then in the harvest, the fruit of your work is meted out. The end. I think what he means there at the end is you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Right.
True
So
story.
if you're being naughty all year, boom, Belsnickel knows.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, up until you got to the whole whipping part and you're describing the Belsnickel, I was just like, wait a minute. Big, hairy. I was like, oh, no. You're kind of... you were listing off a bunch of characteristics, and I was looking at my video going, I've got that. I've got that.
You got an oxtail?
What's that?
That was one of the descriptions, an oxtail. I don't think you have that. You're not Belsnickel. And do you open and close your mouth like shears?
Yeah, I can. See, like,
Oh, okay.
like that. There you go.
All right. I think Nash is trying to say, is he talking about me? Is that what you're trying to say?
I was like, is he describing me? It's really weird. He's kind of describing me a little bit. And then he went on to the whipping part. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not me.
Okay. But there is something here that you might enjoy. So back in the 19th century, there was a thing called Belsnickeling. So around Christmas time, people would dress up and they just get old clothes and wear masks and wigs, whatever, just trying to look as kooky as possible. And they would go around and they would knock on people's doors and entertain them, like sing a song, do a dance. And if you liked it, you gave them treats for their entertainment. And if you could guess who it was, they'd take their mask off and say, hey, yeah, you're right. It's me, Jimmy. Now, like anything like that, there's always people that take it too far. So some Belsnickeling turned into people were getting hammered. Then it turned into vandalism and rioting. So Belsnickeling got a little crazy.
Wow.
But if you think about it, it's a little bit like, trick or treat. Going door to door.
Right.
In costume, getting some treats or whatnot. Now, on Halloween, you don't have to do a dance to get your treat.
Right.
But Belsnickels, I almost feel like we could bring that back, minus the vandalism and getting wicked hammered. But I dress up for Christmas and go around town
Oh, yeah.
dancing.
I think that would be fun. It'd be fun.
I'm all for getting hammered.
It's funny that you said you don't have to do a little dance, but, on Halloween, they do when you're going around. It made me think of your character, Dave, that you sometimes trick or treat. Sometimes kids will have a small rhyme to go along with the trick or treat thing to go to kind of do a modified rap battle at somebody's house to try to get candy. And I was like, maybe. I don't know. Just reminded me of that.
Well, you could Belsnickel without the battle part. You just go to someone's house, you knock on the door, you sing a little ditty, you do the two-step, and then boom, they hand you a beer. And then that happens so many houses, you're 6 beers deep, and that's when you start breaking things and fighting with your buddy. You're wrestling in someone's front lawn. Yeah. Next thing you know, the cops show up. You're naked. You can't remember why. Yeah.
And then you end up married in a gutter somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Who wants to bring Belsnickel back? Sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Well, that is Der Belsnickel. Now, any fan of The Office probably knows that Dwight showed up as his character on an episode. And I think it's also, there's like the Christmas Chronicles 2 on Netflix. One of the characters in there is Belsnickel. So, still in pop culture a little bit.
Right.
Nice.
All right. Well, that leaves Nash. Well, actually, I have one more I'll come back to. It kind of relates to Yule Cat. But, Nash, what tale are you going to tell us?
Well, I was looking at basically a goddess in some eyes. She was known as Perchta. Now this it came from 10th century Germany, and was written about they called it Old High German. I'm guessing that's kind of like a Old English for us when we read Romeo and Juliet. I'm going to assume that. But Perchta there's a couple different views of Perchta. So the first one I came across was basically that she was like they called her the white goddess. She was a goddess of spinning and weaving. Okay. So that was one, which doesn't sound so bad. That's like, oh, okay, great. Then the other side of that was that she was also considered the female version of the boogeyman. And I was like, okay, this is a little bit different. And she was also known as Grandmother Winter, which, again, that's not so bad. So I went back to this female boogeyman version, and it turns out that she was considered half woman, half demon, and had this giant beak-like thing. Like she was a giant owl. She was a giant bird-like creature, okay? And what she would do is during the 12 nights of Christmas, she would come to houses and whatnot, and she would visit the people at night and visit the kids. And this is the Perchta, or not the Perchta, but Perchta, they're not completely conflicting stories. But what I found was, one, that if your child was considered lazy or greedy, what she would do is she would cut open the bellies of the child, violently rip out the intestines of that child, then replace the intestines with straw, rocks, and garbage. Nice. Grandma Winter is kind of a bitch.
Sounds appropriate.
That was the one. And the other version of that part of it said that she would come and visit people at night to feast on your blood and on your flesh. So they could be intertwined. She could be pulling out intestines of small children, small lady children, and then like thinking, oh, well, this is how I like my sausages, or, I don't know. I don't know, because she's replacing with rocks and garbage, and the fact that they focus on that she violently rips out the intestines of the small children was a little disturbing to me.
Right.
So as she was,
how bad are the kids being? I mean, it seems like pretty extreme. They're just, maybe didn't do their chores, or
this just said I just found that they were being lazy and a little greedy.
I mean,
right?
It's pretty extreme.
It's pretty extreme. I mean, there have been a time or two on a weekend that I don't really want to do anything. I just want to sit around and veg out. Does that mean that she's going to come and rip out my guts and replace it with
being lazy?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty hardcore. So one of the things that she's also known for, because she doesn't travel alone, okay? She has a posse. that comes with her. She has like oh my gosh, an entourage. Okay, she's got an entourage. Except they're not blinged out in gold and the whole 9 yards. They're not like rolling up, and just flanking her. They are a posse of zombies. They're basically zombie-like helpers that are there to help her do her bidding. So that means she busts in your house, finds your kid, and your kid's not being a bad kid. He's just kind of being kind of lazy, not doing his homework, not helping out with the chores, and and eating too many cookies. And she's like, "Take the child." And the zombie guys kind of flank the child, stretch him out. She opens the kid up, rips out his guts. This is horrific.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So
and it's Christmas time?
It's Christmas time. Yeah. And this is Christmas time. Now I did find, other than the children not being lazy or greedy, air quotes, was that a way to keep her at bay was, I guess, one of the traditions in old 10th century Germany was that one of the things you would do as a family on the 12 nights before Christmas is you would eat porridge. One of the nights, or maybe during the night, you would eat porridge before you went to bed. If you left the porridge out and left her some, she was like, "Yum, yum, thanks. I'm out. Thank you. I'm good." And she wouldn't eviscerate your children.
Wow.
She just wanted some porridge.
Huh.
That was the way around it. I'm okay, whatever. It seems like a lot of punishment for not much on the let's avoid this by giving some porridge, some cold ass porridge. So yeah. So Perchta, and then now another thing that I had found about Perchta is that she was not exclusive to Christmas.
Oh.
I think that's just when she did her best work. Okay. So there were tales of Perchta showing up at weddings.
Oh.
Yeah, she would like the wedding crashers. Her and her zombies would get in and, have a few drinks, do some dancing, whatnot. And say they were friends of the family and the whole nine and butt in. But what she would end up doing is, if she didn't like the bride and the groom for whatever reason, she would turn the bride and groom into wolves.
Oh.
Yeah, and then leave. And so I try to dig into that a little bit and find out why the heck she was doing that, other than she was pissed off. I don't know. Maybe the food wasn't good. Maybe they didn't have porridge at the wedding. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it
Maybe they're being lazy. Yeah. Not putting enough effort into the dancing.
Yeah, the kids weren't helping out. They just didn't know how to dance. I don't know. They weren't picking up the chairs afterwards and putting them all and stacking them in a certain way. I don't know. Either way, it sounds like if Perchta's around, there's nothing good about Perchta. And keep your kids active. Make sure they're not greedy and they're just, doing their things and they're participating in their lives, and she won't cut open their stomachs, rip out violently their intestines, and replace it with rock, straw, and garbage.
Oh, boy.
Lessons.
It's like, the more you know, rainbow just went across.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, so they kind of said that she was the female version of Krampus because of the severity of what she did or what she does. So
interesting.
But she's been doing this since the 10th century. So I mean, wow, that's pretty hardcore.
That's extreme.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme.
And you were saying like a kind of a female Krampus.
Yeah.
With the Yule Cat, I came across this other legend in Iceland called Grelia. To all our friends in Iceland, I apologize. I'm sure I mispronounced that. But the Yule Cat is actually Grelia's pet. So this is one of the this is one of the oldest, I guess, legends or tales in Icelandic folklore. Actually, even mentioned, written about in 13th century manuscripts.
Wow.
So what she is this giant troll, always hungry and always threatening to snatch away children. Usually, the ones that have been bad.
Of course.
Description, obviously troll, but hooves for feet, 13 tails. And there's this old rhyme that says 15 tails, and each one holds 100 bags with 20 children in each bag.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
I need a calculator. Hold on for a second. I'm going to question this right now.
So what she'll do, though, at Christmas, she comes down out of the mountain, and she'll go to different homes, and the bad children, she snatches them up, puts them in a bag, takes them back to her mountain lair, and then boils them alive as she makes her favorite stew out of them.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And here's the Smithsonian had a quote here, a historic passage. Down comes Grelia from the outer fields with 40 tails, a bag on her back, a sword in her hand, coming to carve out the stomachs of the children who cry for meat during Lent.
Oh.
Again, that's a little hardcore for wanting a burger.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
And the amount of tail, the count keeps going up. But now, also, she has had 3 husbands so far. 2 of them she killed out of sheer boredom.
As you do.
So I don't know what the third husband's doing. Like, he's definitely doing a lot of cleaning, cooking, dancing. He's making sure she does not get bored with him.
I read that he's super lazy and he's always hanging out at home. So maybe he is doing something at home, but
No, he's keeping whatever he's doing. It's keeping him alive.
Right.
Now, outside of having the Yule Cat as a pet, she has 13 kids.
Yep.
And they're called the Yule Lads. And I guess they'll also help, figure out which bad, kids that their mom needs to grab for the stew. Now, I didn't do a lot of research on this, but I have the names, and I would like to read them to you. And quick description. So the kids are named Sheepcoat Clog. Any idea what Sheepcoat Clog does?
Is that one person or 3?
That's one person. That's one Yule Lad.
Sheepcoat Clog?
Yeah. I know what he does, but I'm not gonna spoil it for
All right. Well, apparently he has a peg leg and he fancies sheep.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like fancies?
He likes to mess with them, so.
Yeah.
Like biblical fancy?
Yeah, when you say mess and fancy.
Yeah.
Well,
is it a Patreon conversation and not like a main episode conversation?
All right. And we have Gully Gawk.
Okay.
So this Yule Lad will hide in ditches or gullies. And then I guess apparently he waits till no one's looking. He'll run into a barn and lick the foam off of the fresh milk that was just squeezed out of the cow.
This is weird.
Yeah, right. All right, we got Stubby, and
He doesn't do much.
now apparently he gets his name because he's wicked short.
Okay.
But he also likes to steal pies. So he'll steal a pie pan, lick it clean. So if you can't find your pie or pie pans, Stubby's been in town.
Stubby.
We got, here we go. We got Spoon Licker.
Okay. We know what he does.
I was going to say, can you guess what he does?
Licks people's spoons.
Yep. He steals spoons and licks them.
Yep.
We got Pot Scraper.
Okay.
Okay. He's a petty thief of leftovers.
Okay.
Okay.
We have the next Yule Lad. He's called Bowl Licker.
Okay. He hangs out with Spoon Licker.
Yeah. Apparently, she doesn't feed her kids because they're all really hungry.
They're all food related.
Yeah.
So apparently, bowl licker, he'll hide and wait for you to put your food down and forget about it or something, and he'll jump in there and lick the bowl clean for you.
So he turned into a modern day house cat.
Well, I don't know. We have door slammer. Can you guess what he does?
Slams doors.
Yeah, a little bit of a prankster, I guess. You're just dozing off. You got to get up early for work, and then he'll start slamming doors because he's a jerk.
He's just a teenager with some pent up anger.
Right.
Maybe.
That's right.
We have skier gobbler. That's
Skier gobbler?
SKYR. Probably not saying it right. Skier gobbler. So apparently, skier is a type of yogurt, and he'll gobble it up.
Nice.
Oh, then we have sausage swiper.
Don't even talk about me.
So he likes to steal sausage. So you want to make sure you keep that put away, hidden, or he'll steal it.
He'll steal your sausage.
He'll take your sausage.
Where did my sausage go? It was hanging here shortly ago. I put it next to this bowl, which is now shiny clean.
Speaking of sausage, we got window peeper.
Perv.
Can you get? Yep, it's exactly what he does. Peeping time. Doorway sniffer. Apparently, he has an incredibly large nose, and he'll sniff through doors and see. Ooh, it smells like they're whipping up some sausage in there.
Sausage stealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swiper.
Swiper. Swiper no swipey?
Yeah.
We have meat hook.
Oh.
Finally, like one guy gets a cool name.
Yeah. Hey, Gullygawk, what's your bro's name? Meat hook.
Meat hook.
Well, he always carries a hook to steal meat.
Okay.
And last but not least of the 13 Yule Lads, the 13 brothers, we have Candle Stealer.
Oh, so there's only one that has nothing to do with food.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I feel like candles back in the day, they used to have, was it tallow? I think is what it was called. So you could eat the candles if you got hungry.
But Candle Stealer likes to take them when you're not looking, leaving you in the dark.
Yeah.
So Grila's kids sound like a bunch of a-holes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stealing your food, watching you through the window, taking your candle, leaving you in the dark.
So that means that, so the way I'm looking at this big picture thing here is you have the mom out gathering the kids to turn them into soup, right? Into stew, okay? Then you have, and then you have the third husband who's back at the cave or at their house, whatever.
Yeah, just drinking some buds.
Yeah.
Watching the game. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm thinking that he and mom are basically just eating everything. That's why she can't kill him, is because he's got to be as fat as a house for eating all the stew, because the kids don't get any of it, which is why they're named the way they're named. And she's like, if you want to eat, go talk to Meat Hook and Peeper and get the door sniffer over there, and you guys will go make it happen. Okay. You know, there's just not enough food to go around, even though they're stealing children and turning them to stew.
Well, that's the Yule Lads. I just thought that was extremely interesting. Everything we talked about, you could tell that there was definitely some lessons to be learned, like for the kids. Don't be good. Don't be good. Had that backwards.
That's right.
Don't be bad, because bad things will happen to you.
Well, and the one thing I forgot to mention about Perchta is that one of her feet, she has one foot that is like a misshapen goose foot. Okay, and it's said that her misshapen goose foot is partially responsible why, in tradition, you would cook and eat a goose at Christmas dinner, because that signified that Christmas was now over and she wasn't coming back.
Okay.
So, yeah, so there's all these stories are basically kind of horrifying.
Right.
And I'm glad I don't live in 10th, 17th, 14th, or whatever 8th century
Right.
Iceland, Germany. Oh my gosh.
True story.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we take a break? We'll come back with some listener feedback, a listener story, and a year-end recap. We'll be right back.
Hey, friends. This is Kevin Jansen from Elmwood, Nebraska, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
All right. Thanks, Kevin, for bringing us back in from the break. Greatly appreciate that. All right. Hey, let's get to some listener feedback. Any other thoughts before they do that on the Christmas cryptids and all those stories? Any final thoughts?
I feel like, yes, the whole idea behind it is to be good. Don't misbehave. And I think you're going to be solid. So,
Excellent advice.
Yeah.
Do you think that I mean, this is maybe a bigger question, but I'm thinking that the positive aspect, all of what we came across, most of them were pretty bad / pretty horrific, you know, and that led to people trying to be good and the whole 9 yards and people being good. Do you think we lost something? Not saying that we should do something as horrific as some of these stories, but right now in our Christmas outlook, in our holiday outlook, there's no negative repercussions if you're an a-hole over Christmas. You know
you
I mean?
want to bring back whipping your kids
or
stuffing them in bags?
Not something quite as severe as this, but there's no negative repercussions like that anymore.
Well, I think like the Belsnickel, that poem at the end, basically saying that you reap what you sow. I think a-holes, it comes back to karma, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, karma comes back. It does.
You know, I was wondering, like, there's a lot of similarities with the things we talked about, and even Krampus. We got this creature that gets kids, eats them, steals them. There's a lot of, like, what if going way, way back, maybe there was something that roamed around, some type of crazy creature, some demon from hell roaming around stealing kids. And it just became this in these legends.
Right.
Yeah, like something happened, the creature stopped showing up, but they kept letting people know, like, hey, keep that up. So-and-so's going to come and eat your guts.
Didn't they say that most stories and legends have like a little piece of truth somewhere in them?
Yeah, I think I've heard that, yeah.
You know, maybe so minuscule. So like for Perchta, maybe just at that time, some lady escaped from a prison or a dungeon somewhere and was doing really funky bad stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really glad that she doesn't come around our house.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I don't really understand where a giant cat, if you don't get clothes, will eat you. It's just a little bizarre, but what do I know? Yeah.
I could go for a giant cat in the front yard, though. That'd be awesome.
Nah, could you imagine a giant cat?
Yeah.
The size of a house and the pooping and the peeing. It would be
smell
terrible.
so bad.
And just messing with stuff. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the town's puts lights up and, you know, Christmas displays. The cat would just be walking around knocking all that over, you know, but they're knocking over giant, you know, candles, because down here at the one part they have these big candles and big nutcrackers. That cat would just come along and just knock them over.
Smack.
I guess the the borough employees would have a job. Next day they'd set it all back up.
Well, and just think you wouldn't have to like drive to work. You could just ride your cat to work. You know, if you go fishing, you just hang the fish out front, and he'll come by and get it. And
Dude, you cannot ride a giant house cat type to work. Number one, you can't even pet the cat belly for like more than a minute. It wants you to do it. 30 seconds in, it starts clawing you and biting you. Cats are, would you call them, I guess, temperamental?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah, you take off to work on the back of your cat. Everything's good. 30 seconds into the ride, it bucks you off. It's clawing you.
I'm telling you, but
it's trying to bury you.
You give it a little scratch behind the ear, and you give it some lovin's, and it starts to purr. And then all of a sudden, you're in a warm, happy, purring environment that your whole family can share together. That sounds wonderful.
No.
Yeah, but there's no way you would actually be able to use it for transport because it would never go where you want it to go.
Right.
That's the first point that's been said so far, right there. You'd be like, let's go. And you just kind of wander off that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's the litter box situation?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen at my house because you'd have to go somewhere else.
Oh, I see. You're one of those kind of people. Get your animal to go over and use the neighbor's yard.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have a big property. I mean, somebody's got to have some space around here somewhere that he's going to go poop. I mean, come on.
Oh, well, all right. I guess that's our final thoughts on that topic. All right. Hey, got some listener feedback. Let's jump into that quick. We heard from Gia. Hello. I am in love with this podcast. You guys are funny and don't talk like robots. Your episodes are interesting and spooky. Not to flex, though, but I've been listening since 2018, and you guys honestly have the best podcast in the world.
Oh.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Keep up the great work. You guys are awesome, especially Alicia.
Oh, thank you. I am awesome.
Thanks, Gia.
How does she spell her name?
Jiah.
Oh, that's a different. I thought it was going to be GIA.
I had to look up how to pronounce it properly.
Yeah.
Gia, I hope I'm doing an excellent job pronouncing your name, and thank you so much for listening to the show. We heard from Rob. Dropped us a little note on our Patreon. He said, hey, guys, check out the Poltergeist Diaries on Amazon Prime. It is really well done. It's along the same lines as Paranormal Activity. Anyway, you guys rock. Love the show. Poltergeist Diaries. Well, thanks, Rob, for the suggestion. I'm going to check that out. It sounds pretty cool.
Right.
Yep.
We heard from Christina. Y'all's podcast, with the info and the laughs, has helped me through the hospital stays, the chemo, the nights I couldn't sleep because the pain was so bad. I'm feeling better than I have in years. So thank y'all for being there and being weird and funny when I needed it the most. Much love to y'all.
Oh.
Christina, thank you so much. I'm glad you're feeling better. And I'm glad in some small way we could help out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you pulling through. It's you're strong. You did it. If we helped, that's great. But you're the strong one here. Yeah. Good job.
And we heard from Nicole. I know it's not exactly Christmas yet, but I just wanted to go ahead and wish you guys and your families a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you, Nicole, and back at you.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. Hopefully the Perchta and the Yule Cat don't come by. And the zombie horde.
Yeah.
And we heard from Andy. He has a little story for us. Now, Andy had actually, this was months ago, episodes ago. Remember he told us a little bit about these invisible monkeys. I don't know if you guys remember, but he finally got around to getting the story over. And Lish is going to read it for us.
Okay. So this is from Andy. I was driving to work, did a 3 or 4 a.m. start, and had to drive through rural areas to get there. On one part of the road, it narrows out with a couple of bends. On one of the bends, there are trees on the left-hand side. Tall trees. I'd say about 100 foot plus, with ivy growing up them. It was early winter. maybe November or December of 2015. There was heavy rain, and I had my headlights on full. As I approached the second bin, I noticed 3 or 4 of the trees had movement at the bottom. Not wind, as no other trees or plants or even the long grass was moving, just the bases of the bottom of these trees. But I couldn't see what was there. What I was or wasn't seeing were transparent, either reflecting or mirroring the light. But the movement went upwards, and the first thing I thought was it was aliens. I don't know why, but I just did. Throughout the day, I was thinking about it and just thought it was the light of the headlights reflecting off the rain. The next day, same route, same time, clear sky, no rain. I saw exactly the same thing. Then again, the next day. The next 2 days, same route. Weather was hit or miss, but I didn't see anything. But on the last day of that week, I saw it again. After seeing it several times over the week, I knew I wasn't imagining it. I just thought of it as smaller versions of the predator. I was talking to someone about it a couple years later, and it occurred to me that it could have even been 2 extremely larger things and not several smaller things. I've no idea what it was. I've driven past the same spot tons of times since. Day and night, nothing is there at all. So because I couldn't see what it was, I just titled them as invisible monkeys due to how the leaves and branches were moving. How they'd move when you see a monkey climbing a tree, but without the monkey. Keep the good work and funnies. Love the show. Cheers. Andy.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you. Seeing some predators hanging out, climbing trees, that would be freaky. And I'm going to go and say it was aliens.
I fully agree. I mean, it could have been the predator, just small ones. Maybe we just had the scale wrong for the movies.
Yeah.
Maybe they were taunting Andy, waiting for him to stop the car, get out, looking for a challenge. But Andy kept driving by.
The 3 little beams, that little laser beam that come out and zip you on the head before the blaster shoots. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, I'm going more for it's a top secret government project using alien technology, but they were actually soldiers.
Making invisible suits.
Yes.
So it has the tech on, it's reflect the light and the other surroundings, given the appearance. That was in like a movie, G.I. Joe. I think they had one of those suits in the background, and I think that new Invisible Man movie, essentially, he had all these tiny little cameras that would, project whatever he wanted.
Yep.
I like the government experiment.
Right.
And that's why he stopped seeing it, because they had done...
They did the experiment, and they moved on.
Yep.
I could go for... I kind of like the idea of the invisible monkeys. Because I know for a fact that sometimes invisible monkeys will eat the last couple slices of ham here at the house or drink the last little bit of milk in the fridge, even some of the ice cream or some of the other sweet treats around. Invisible monkeys.
Do your invisible monkeys like throw invisible monkey poop?
I don't know. I've never seen it because it's invisible.
That's right.
You wouldn't
See,
even
that's
know.
why I don't think invisible monkeys would be cool, because monkeys are known for, throwing their poop. And I don't know, do they throw it when they get irritated with you, or is it just a fun thing to do?
I don't know. They're invisible.
Like either way, if I was sitting on the couch watching a movie and then got hit with invisible monkey poo, because you can't see it, I guarantee you'll know it's there.
Yeah.
Well, you can still hear it happening and smell it after the fact. So you know when there's invisible monkeys around because you hear a little burp and then you smell some funk.
And then you get hit in the forehead.
Well, I don't know how good a shot.
And then you're like, worst pet ever.
We paid how much for this thing?
Yeah. Nah, that'd be a terrible pet.
Yeah.
If you would like to send us a story or some feedback, hit us up, paranormalpunches.com. You'll find all the ways to contact us. All right, guys. This is officially the last episode of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made it through 2020.
2020. The next one is 2021. We're done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2021.
Yeah.
Though this year, despite everything that's happening in the world, I mean, we had some fun episodes. We talked about a lot of cool topics. Had some great guests on. We had John Olson told us some stories. We had Ted on to tell us more about some ghost hunting action. A lot of other people. We had some friends on. And again, despite the pandemic, with technology, we kept going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's awesome that we were able to keep going, even though we can't be in person every time. It still feels wonderful to shoot the breeze about all the weird with you guys. So thankful for this technology.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward, though, to 2021.
Yeah.
There are so many more topics to cover.
Oh, yeah.
Like, man, I don't know if you guys saw this article about an Israeli scientist that says aliens have already made contact.
Right.
And with our president, and they're just hanging back.
Kids, we're not
waiting
ready.
to reveal themselves because we're just not ready yet. And I do think hear me out. If aliens showed up, do you think we would have another run on toilet paper? Do you think people would panic, lose their mind, and then buy up all this toilet paper? Or do you think people would embrace?
No, they would totally panic.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think they'd buy toilet paper. I think they'd buy ammo.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they would. I think it could be a freak out. I could very much see why they wouldn't want to let us know they're here.
right.
Is we're not quite ready yet. I firmly agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the NASA was not the Air Force did say, we have these unidentified flying objects. I don't know if they officially said UFOs, but the Tic Tac ships, where we have military footage of them on radar talking about it. I think it got glossed over this year.
Yeah. It did.
But so Nash, you feel like people would lose their mind and panic.
Yeah,
I feel like I've been wanting to see was aliens show up for half my life. So I'm ready. I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I'm like, yeah, knew it. Dave, what about you?
I think people would buy up all the water and leave cups of water out everywhere.
Oh, it's stupid movie science.
I like that movie.
Swing away, Morgan.
Yep. And when you say that you've been, waiting for half your life and you'd be out there or whatnot, all I can picture is Independence Day. You're one of the
I'm one of those guys on the
The
roof.
sign, yes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say I would be on a rooftop with a sign like, "Hey, come, you can stay at my house tonight." But I would be like, I don't think I'd go into full panic mode right away. I think I would be like doing a lot of, "Told you, I told you, I knew they existed." And then if they fired, their weapons started blowing things up, then I would be like, "Oops." Apparently, they're not friendly.
Yeah.
Well, I would just say if they're around and they make themselves known, then we have definitive proof that they have been taking the cows and shoving things and probing. And I just want that to stop. I want the cows to be safe, and I want the probing to stop. Stop the probing, 2021.
Now, keep in mind the aliens that are here and have talked to the president and some other world leaders. They might not be the ones that did the probing. That could be another alien species that is here and gone. Or maybe this other alien race doesn't like this other one. Who knows? But it's sort of, waiting for us to be at the right time to reveal themselves. Right. Sort of sounds like Star Trek.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a Twilight Zone, To Serve Man. If anybody's seen the Twilight Zone, the older Twilight Zone in black and white, about an alien encounter, the first alien encounter that showed up and shared their technology with us, and they had a book, and they would give us like a treaty, and it was all in their language, and it was called To Serve Man, and it's probably one of my favorite Twilight Zones ever. I highly recommend watching it if you haven't.
I don't know that episode, but I do know the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror version of that.
Oh, yeah?
Well, and in Star Trek, we had to reach a certain technology level for them to come down and make contact and ask if you want to be part of the Federation.
Yeah, there's a criteria that had to be met.
Yes, we're not there yet.
No.
I don't know when that, I mean, Elon Musk he's like, we're
He's
going
working on
to
it.
be on Mars.
Yeah.
We're going to colonize that place.
I think on Star Trek, they had to be able to recognize a warp signature.
Right.
And that's what needed to be. That's what drew the Vulcans to meeting Cochrane, whatever his first name was. Zephyr Cochrane.
Now, in Star Trek, everything was very humanoid. So with these aliens, like, I guess if they look like really some of the crazy stuff in like newer Star Trek episodes or in the TV show Aliens, not TV show, the movie, we would definitely freak out. But if it was Star Trek aliens, well, they would just look like us and we'd be okay. We would know the bad guys. Because in the original Star Trek, the bad guys always had goatees.
and goatees and very, very sharp eyebrows.
Yeah. Like in, what was it, the episode Mirror Mirror, where they went to the alternate dimension? Their alter egos, on that dimension had goatees. Or Spock had a goatee, so he was bad Spock. All the Vulcans, or not the Vulcans, the Klingons, they all had goatees. But the good guys were clean shaven.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, 60s special effects. I mean, limited budget. That's what you got.
Yep.
And I always thought that Spock was better with a goatee. I like Spock with a goatee, man. He was focused and direct. He was poignant. He was on fire.
Well, I don't know. Maybe 2021 will give us aliens. Will we get Bigfoot? I don't know. Still would like to see Bigfoot.
Yeah, we couldn't tell if it was alternate dimension Bigfoot or this dimension Bigfoot. We couldn't tell.
Right.
Because he has fur.
Well, no, if it was the bad dimension Bigfoot, maybe he shaves.
Oh, nice.
Which would probably be scary.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a hairless cat? Yeah, they're pretty freaky.
Dude, that's going to give me nightmares thinking about a hairless Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Well, with any luck, we actually will see Bigfoot in 2021. Because I finished a script called Bigfoot Ridge. And we are going to attempt to film it in 2021. So we'll keep you updated as it hopefully comes together. So that's what I'm looking forward to big time in 2021 for us to make this script a reality, be able to somehow integrate ideas from everything we talked about, but also incorporate or get our listeners involved. We have a scene. One of the scenes is at a bar, and I was like, man, all the extras in the background. If we could get listeners in,
Right.
That'd be awesome.
that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
So, but again, 2021 is still going to start out a little
It's gonna
weird
take
and rocky.
it's going to take a while.
But I'm staying optimistic.
Yeah.
Nash, anything you're looking forward to in the new year?
Right now we're kind of laser focused on finishing the construction of the house here. Beyond that was my Christmas wish, is to have that done by the new year. Oh, I'm extremely close to my I had a goal set for the end of the year. And so it had to do with exercising and lifting and whatnot. And I'm extremely close to it. So 2021, what 2020 has taught me is to not have any preconceived notions about what's going to happen during the year.
Right.
True story.
Hold on, ride the wave, hope for the best, and let's get through it,
Dave, what about you?
I'm just looking for things to be different than 2020.
Yeah.
I hear you, man.
Yeah. I realize that can go both ways, but, honestly, if things just change more rapidly than, having one thing take most of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, brother. Lish, what about you?
No, I'm on the same boat as Dave. It can only get better, right? I mean, it might take a few months, but I think we can only go up. I know. I'm sitting here crossing my fingers.
Come on.
That's all I can hope for. I would like to get back to some sort of normalcy, or at least like something close to what we used to experience.
Right.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I love all the listeners.
Yeah.
All I want to say is like, happy holidays. Thank you so much for joining us in this crazy years past. Let's see, this is episode 104. I think that brings us to about 4 or 5 years. Now, again, we'll be here in 2021 still talking about all the weird. If you want to, hey, feel free to hit us up and let us know what you're looking forward to in 2021. You know how to get a hold of us. I already told you that. All right. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yep.
Be safe. Be awesome. Spread love. Spread kindness. And if it's not weird,
it's not worth checking out.